Hello, my name is Emily McDougall, and I'll be addressing any comments or advice that was given to me regarding my video rhetorical situation. After receiving the observations that my classmates and professor provided me about my speech, I've come to the conclusion that I must focus on how to get my message across without the example taking over and how to make a speech more conversational. The content of my speech revolved around rhetorical situation. At the beginning of my speech, I provided an attention grabber. November 22nd, 1963, in Dallas, Texas, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Just 2 hours later, Lyndon B. Johnson was sworn in as president aboard Air Force One with Jackie Kennedy standing beside him. After that short anecdote, I proceeded to define rhetorical situation. What is rhetorical situation? Lloyd Bitzer defines rhetorical situation as a complex of persons, events, objects, and relations, presenting an actual or potential exigence which can be completely or partially removed if discourse, introduced into the situation, can so constrain human decision or action as to bring about significant modification of the exigence. During my speech, I applied the characteristics of rhetorical situation to the events that occurred on November 22, 1963. These characteristics may have been lost in the content of my speech because I would mention the characteristic in the first sentence and describe the characteristic in the following sentences. In my edited video, I added the characteristic to the bottom of the screen while describing it so the audience never loses sight of what I am discussing at that moment. Lastly, Bitzer mentioned that objects could define a rhetorical situation. The second focus point for me is to become more conversational during a speech. To become more conversational, I must look directly into the camera and have a good conversation tempo and diction. During my speech, I was very stiff, and loosening up would allow me to become more conversational. This stiffness was seen in my hands. Yes, I did have them by my side, but you could see them stiffen up, and even my hand gestures lacked something natural about them. I shouldn't be afraid to use my hands and have them gently rest by my side. After recognizing my downfalls and having to create a video about them, I will hopefully in the future take my own advice and make sure my audience understands the content of my speech and make them feel as though they are in a conversation with me rather than me lecturing them.